Yo, it's Jazzy Black, and I'm excited to be kicking back with one of the biggest names in the DFW right now. Y'all make some noise for my friend Jaxon!
Yeah.
16-year-old champion and fighter of a very rare cancer called osteosarcoma. And I have Mama, who's absolutely beautiful, Miss Shay, up in here. Miss Shay, just, to share with parents for things that they should look out for. Share your story of how you found out about Jaxon's diagnosis, so parents out there can have something to keep in mind of signs and symptoms that they should look for, just in case, because stuff happens all the time, but you sometimes never know how serious it is.
Well, hi, everybody, first of all. Jaxon was diagnosed when he was 12 years old. We kind of found it weirdly because he just come off of a heavy season of track, and so we just thought he was going through just regular leg pain, just kind of some of those growing pains that happen with boys around that age. Unfortunately, lo and behold, we end up having to take him into the doctor because he was starting to limp and just not able to put any pressure on that leg. And so his doctor sent him in for scans, and we found out within about 4 hours that something was there. They just didn't know what it was. Sent us in for testing. Came back, it was positive that it was osteosarcoma, which is a tumor that started out in his leg and then his actually metastasized to his lungs. So that's what actually made his a stage 4. There wasn't anything really that his doctor said that we would have been aware of because it started for him with just pain. So I always say now it's very important for us to make sure we are getting our kids screened for these things. When they go in for their annual exam, actually they don't do blood work most of those times until like they're age 4. And then you'll get again kind of when you get into like sports and things like that.
And not even just for sports, every year. Because I remember we had to go in and you had to get your
annual checkup
before you come back to school.
Absolutely.
So they don't do blood screenings when they do those?
Not every year they don't.
Okay.
And so it is important that we are doing those extra testings that need to be done. Ask for scans. If you are aware of your insurance, ask for a CT scan. Ask for some x-rays. Go ahead and add that on to your annual exam because so many times things are missed, like with us, without having those scans. So it's very important to get that done.
Oh, for real. And we got Jaxon up here. Now, Jaxon, you was running track. What events were you running in track?
I ran the 200 and the 400.
Ooh, hey, look, I used to run the 400 too. I got me a couple ribbons from back in the day. I ain't gonna lie, look, we gonna get you back out there on that track one way or another, Jaxon. You feel me? We gonna cross that finish line for sure. Now, I was able to meet both of them through my friend Craig. Now, Craig, when we got to talk on the phone last week, I had on here, we were talking sports, but you said something that I thought was really beautiful. And you said, I want to be a light,
an asset,
and a resource. And I thought that was really, really cool, especially just outside of the work that you do professionally, but to be hands-on in the community, I think is absolutely phenomenal. So just tell me about how you got linked up with Jaxon, because y'all have been out here just taking over everything.
Yeah, well, you know, I understand my purpose. I believe that God put Jaxon in my life for a reason, and for the last 4 years, from the day I got the call from my friend Angie, who introduced me to Shay. She just wanted me to kind of reach out and give some words of encouragement to them. And honestly, I felt compelled. I felt like God was asking me to do something a little more. So I asked Shay if I could come visit Jaxon, and I did.
Come on, pull up.
And that day, I fell in love with him.
Yeah.
He became my best friend from that day forward. We've been best friends ever since.
Yeah.
And he's been my inspiration. He's been a motivation to me. He's been somebody that there have been times in my life where, you know, we all struggle as adults. And I've gone through a lot of difficult things. And I think about how much Jaxon's been through. And I think about how much fight he has in his heart. And he always has a big smile on his face. And so being able to see that smile through everything, through all the adversity that he's faced, has really just inspired me. And so knowing my purpose to be a light and be an asset and be a resource to people, I just wanted to take this time and use the resources that I have to spread his story, to spread his love. And my goal is to get as many people as possible to pray for Jaxon. Because at this point in his treatment, there's not a lot of stuff that they can do. But I do believe that God can heal him. So Matthew 18-20 says, where 2 or more are gathered in my name and ask, there I will be, and there they will receive. So I've just been continuing to try to put as much prayer out there as possible, get as many people to pray for him as we can. And I believe that he'll be able to live a long, successful life, maybe get him back out on the track again, get him back out on the football field. You know, there's somebody that's really important to me, and just this mission has been important to me. So I love this dude, and I love Miss Shay, I love Jay, the whole family. They got an incredible family, and I just want to give them as much light as possible.
Absolutely. We're going to call you Reverend Craig on the side. We're going to call you Reverend Craig on the side. Now, look, we're gearing up for the holidays, and Jaxon, you're doing something super, super incredible for some of the other kids that you got to meet and hang out with at Children's Hospital. So talk to me about the toy drive. You know, what kind of toys are you looking for? And, you know, just why you wanted to do this.
Well, I accept any type of toy, teen, babies, kids, any toy would work exactly. But the reason why I want to do is I say lots of kids don't usually get to do that much when they're in the hospital.
Right.
They don't get to actually get to play or have toys that much since they're mostly hooked up to machines and stuff. So I say maybe we could donate some toys to the little kids. They can actually have some little... just some
something,
happiness.
yeah.
Because sometimes kids are never happy in the hospital, so.
Right.
And that's a testament to who he is as a person.
Yeah.
From the day that I met Jaxon, he's always trying to bring light to others.
Right.
He's always been the kind of person that is going to ask.
We need more young people like that out here.
I'm telling you,
we
Jazzy.
do. Like, that's major.
We had an opportunity back in April to be a part of the Texas Children's Cancer Fund event, and the actual event itself was called Light It Up. And
I love that.
Throughout the entire event, I was kind of just watching as Jaxon was going, and he was helping his friends that, you know, other people that had cancer. He was going and getting autographs. And most people would have thought, like, oh, he's getting autographs for himself, you know, this and that. But Jaxon was actually getting autographs for his friends that had cancer, not for himself.
Yeah.
And he wanted to walk with Dak, and at the time, he wasn't really even a big Dak fan, but his dad was. His dad is a big Dak fan. So... and it's just a testament to the kind of heart that he has.
Yeah.
He's always thinking about others before himself. He's the most selfless human being that I've ever met. And he just constantly wants to give as much light and love to everyone around him.
Yeah.
And that's just who he is. And so, you know, he's a gem. He's an angel that I believe God sent here for us to inspire us to be more loving and be more caring to others.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, especially in, you know, with the way that the world is now, the more encouragement, the more light, the more positivity, the more wisdom that we can share with each other is going to ultimately help us, you know, as a human race, you know, defeat whatever is out there. So,
Absolutely.
You know, shout out to you, Jaxon, for, you know, leading the change and starting that revolution, especially with young people. They need to see kids like you that are like doing cool stuff like this. I got to meet with another young lady earlier this year, and her name is Grace. She's a 16-year-old. She goes to Lincoln High School, and she had her own basketball camp. But her basketball camp, she also wanted to teach kids about manifestation. And I said, well, you're 16. What do you know about manifesting? You know, but she was like, no, like, I believe, you know, in the power of like speaking nice things to myself. And I want my friends to talk nicer to themselves so that our peers will know how to talk to us and how to handle each other. And I was like, ooh, I love that. Girl, you own to something. So meeting Jaxon, like, you know, that for me is ultimate. And we need more leaders. So, you know, shout out to y'all for just, you know, doing the work. And I'm excited to see the kids that will receive these gifts on Christmas Day. So let's tell everybody where they can come and drop off toys. We need to get a box up here at the radio station if they want to come and bring some toys up here too.
That's a great idea, Jazzy. We should do that. Can we make a second location?
Yeah.
The first location is Habitat Commons, and that's in Plano. That is at 2609 Technology Drive, Plano, Texas. Habitat Commons. And I believe we're gonna maybe get the 97.9 address too for that.
We should definitely get the 97.9 address, 13760 Noel Road in Dallas. We're literally right across from the Galleria, so I'm gonna make sure I'm going there and get us something so we can go and drop some toys off. And I want to give a shout out to Pinnacle Group Dallas for joining in on Jaxon's efforts and dedicating their company toy drive, which is cool, to Jaxon's to make sure his wish is a success. And that's gonna be a lot of toys.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
That's gonna be a lot of toys.
There's gonna be a lot of smiles for that. Thanks to you, Jaxon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so
A lot of
exciting.
smiles.
And you know what? I just want to piggyback on something that you mentioned earlier. That kind of put things into perspective for me, just as far as the kids, being in their beds, and you're like, some of these kids are like cooked up, and it might be hard to get in there, or even just get in where you fit in, but to know that there's something there that's waiting on them, it's amazing how something so small can lift somebody's spirit and even physically help them feel better,
100%.
So thank you again, Jaxon. Thank you, Miss Shay. Thank you, Craig. Do you want to give everybody your Instagram? And do you guys have a website link for Jaxon or anything like that? No?
We do have a GoFundMe. So the GoFundMe will be on my Instagram at 2LiveCraig, on X at 2LiveCraig.
And it's the number 2.
Number 2, LIVECRAIG. And I'm gonna put it. I can put it on my website too, www.2liveculture.com.
Cool. Thanks, guys, so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you, Jazzy. Thank you.